Okay, this one's kind of a long one. It's a true story and it's ongoing, and there are kids in the middle of this one, and these folks could really use some help. So, without further ado, I've always been skeptical of ghosts, demons, and things that go bump in the night. But tonight I had something happen that I can't explain, and it's been bothering me ever since. And I apologize in advance for being long winded. I guess everything started slowly about 4 years ago with my youngest son saying he saw someone in our bathroom that called themselves Mr. Peeps. We chalked it up to an act of imagination, but over time, the activity has snowballed and become much more intense. My at the time wife befriended someone from work who, on her very first time coming over to our house, had said that she felt a strong, dark energy there and subsequently tried to drive it out. All went well for a couple of years, then everything really started. Sightings became more and more frequent. I nearly passed away. My then wife and I began fighting constantly and ended up divorcing. And my oldest son went to the shed with the intention of never coming out. Thankfully, he abandoned those plans. We live in Ohio, south of Cleveland. I wasn't here when she did it. I think she burned sage and said a prayer. We have chained the door shut because they kept opening and closing. During one of the times I was in the hospital, a friend that had come to take care of my pets for me said as they pulled into the yard, lights turned on in the living room, the blinds opened, and then the light shut off again. Over the last couple of months, there has been banging on my garage door every night. 3 weeks ago, my oldest son was hearing screaming coming from the attic. He called me at work, and I heard it too. He says whenever he looks towards the shed, he feels like he's being watched. And tonight, one of our cats escaped the house and ran into the backyard. When I went out searching for the cat, it was 10:30 p.m. I found him in the corner of the shed, hissing and growling, but nothing there. As I picked him up, my flashlight beam showed my breath. It was 72 degrees outside. I felt the heaviness, like when you walk into a room right after there's been a big argument. Now I'm sitting here, still feeling like I'm being stared down from outside, and have heard things falling in two separate closed rooms with nobody in them. Again, I don't normally believe in stuff like this, but everything that has happened has started to make me a believer. Update. It is currently 6:27 a.m. I haven't been able to sleep yet and have left my house. All night I've strongly felt like I've been watched. At around 3:30 a.m., the door to my garage rattled like someone pounding on it. This has been an ongoing issue for the others in the house. While talking to my ex-wife, who is out of town with the boys, she informed me that our youngest son has also seen a disembodied head in the shed and in the back seat of both of our cars. Once a friend of ours said she saw something that looked like my ex standing on the stairs when she was sound asleep in our bedroom right next to me. Right before I left the house, I heard something hit my door, like a dog or cat fell against it. Only there was nothing there when I opened the door. Also, when I left, the blinds in my youngest son's window opened, like someone was watching me leave. Then, while on the phone with my ex, our oldest son called through because he is with his grandparents and woke up from a nightmare as we were discussing it all on the phone. This was the first I have heard about him seeing these, and also discovered from her our oldest son brought back an occult book about conjuring last summer, Creating Magical Entities, a complete guide to entity creation, that depicts a spirit being conjured in a circle of salt for the cover art when he went to visit Nantucket. I'm going to look for it at home and see if he has scribbled any notes in it, And during the course of our call with him, he was drawing. And I feel like whatever is going on in my house has attached itself to him. We think that he may have accidentally conjured a demon in our house. Come to find out, he had this book in his room. And the friend of ours that is into mysticism feels that our oldest son may have accidentally conjured a demon. We're supposed to get the house blessed on Sunday. My ex and I were foster parents for a while, and part of that is requiring we have working smoke and carbon monoxide detectors throughout the house, so I know we can rule that out. Earlier today, I went back to my shed and smelled decay that disappeared when I opened the door. And on the door itself were carvings, one of a person, others were words and other things I couldn't make out. There is something that just flooded my memory, something else that happened with my youngest. There have been a couple of times that he has said he heard his mom's voice calling to him from the attic. But I always chalked it off as his vivid imagination. Saying there has been a lot of misery over the last few years would be an understatement. 4 years ago as well, my wife and I went through a 5-week stretch living out of suitcases. My uncle passed away right before our family vacation. We went on a pre-planned and paid vacation. The day after we got home, my mom passed. About a week after, my uncle, her brother, and my wife's grandfather, all within a span of 3 weeks. Also, since November, our dog Max broke a brand new collar and was hit by a car. And one of our other cats, who was perfectly healthy, walked across the living room and just fell over, limp and lifeless. Don't even get me started on my life before my ex-wife and I met and got married. Let's say my life can be summed up as a magnet for misery. My house did have a history, but mostly as a party house before I bought it. A couple of years ago, a neighbor physically assaulted his girlfriend on his front porch on New Year's, and sadly, she was lost in the incident. Otherwise, it's just a boring cul-de-sac of tri-level houses built in the 70s. About as run-of-the-mill as you can get. I was still skeptical until tonight. Other people have experienced it, but never myself. But with nobody except me in the house, I think it made me its target. Everything towards the end here has happened tonight, since 10:30 last night. What the hell am I dealing with exactly? Wow, that is a whole lot to unpack, but I'm very concerned just about the kids in the house and the fact that book, I saw the cover of it. There is a spirit coming out of a spirit circle. It's like a how-to guide to conjure things. It's not something you want to just walk into blindly and start, practicing spells in your bedroom. Anyway, I wouldn't advise it. But thank you for that story tonight. Like I said, I'm going to keep the submitter anonymous because of the kids involved. It's sensitive. But keep sending me those stories and suggestions. That's been Jay's Haunted Appalachia for tonight. Keep Appalachia haunted, y'all.